I'll start this recording and I'm going to send through the sample that I did. I sent you guys the sample last week of stage 1. And then here is stage 2 for the same question page, whatever you want to call what we did last week. So this is the debt consolidation consideration stage. And the person that originally, the owner of this site tried to do it herself, and she went to AI and wrote the question again, but then included saying that it was for the consideration stage. And I said, you're combining the two. So is that something that you guys are kind of thinking, yeah, I was a little confused about that? Or do you have that straight? Like deer in the headlights, you guys. Do you have the consideration stage? Do you understand that or no? What about you, Robert?
I think I do.
Do you know how you got the last week's copy, right?
Yes.
And what would you have used to do the consideration stage, the second stage? What would you have told AI?
I wouldn't use AI.
Let me get over here. Is it something that you're kind of still going, yeah, I don't know?
Seems like in consideration, you'd be comparing things.
Okay. So thinking of the debt consolidation, how would you word the sentence?
Uh, I don't know.
Okay. I've been trying to keep it as simple as possible, but here's what I wrote. And anybody who thinks that they've got a better way to write it, go ahead, stand up and bark like a dog and scream, yell, jump up and down saying this is a better way to do it. Okay. This is new enough information that if you found something that works better, okay, that's fine. But literally, because you're staying on the same subject, your debt consolidation. So last week we said, what is debt consolidation? And we want to write that article for the awareness stage. So then the next part is write an article about debt consolidation for the consideration stage of the buyer's journey. So we're not asking the question, what is debt consolidation? That's already been answered in the first page. Now we're going to what is stage 2, which is consideration. Same subject, different information. So if you look at that file that I put in chat, you'll see that does not have the same question in it. It's asking AI to write that next article. Does that make sense to you, Bonnie?
Not focusing, unfortunately. But I understand what you're doing. I know that there's 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the 2.
Correct.
I didn't see this homework last week. But I would put into AI what are some of the considerations in debt consolidation for the buyer journey?
Steve may have, oh, you guys may have shown up late. I think if you come in after I put the files in, then you don't get them. So here's the second stage again. And for those who missed it last week, let's see if I can put in I put this one in because it has highlights in it. So it's a Word doc is the first one. So both the awareness stage and the consideration stage are now in the chat for you to review. So you can look at those and see, all right, here's what I asked, because I usually put that up at the top, making sure that you see what I told AI to do. And what you're trying to do is make sure that you're getting the specific page, the awareness or the consideration, and keep the pages separate, but they're going to link once they're in your site. But you're not asking the same question again in the consideration. And Elizabeth, I'm glad that you showed up. It's been a while. I put both of them in there for you, hoping that would help you with this new EEAT stuff. And I don't know if you're up on it yet, Elizabeth, but it's a game changer. I think the last time that you were on, we were talking about SEO. And for anybody who's still fairly new and hasn't been to our meetings lately, I do see a few new faces, but Google has moved to EEAT, and it's not, you can look that up, but the idea is that you're no longer writing articles about whatever you want and adding SEO to those articles. Google is telling you if you want your pages in the search results, you are going to write for the buyer's journey. So there's stage 1, 2, and 3 of the buyer's journey. Each stage, which would be one topic, has 3 pages. So it's the awareness, consideration, purchase. If you don't have those, then Google's going, then that's not what we're looking for. So see ya. So that's why I was saying, Elizabeth, if we concentrated and tried to help you concentrate on the SEO for the pages for your clients, but today it's now forget about the pages and don't blame me. We're not saying it. It's Google is telling you. And a lot of people have been moved out of page 1 results because they don't have these buyer's awareness, the buyer's journey pages. And that's what's going to happen to everybody. They're going to get pushed way back in the search results because those pages that are not part of the buyer's journey are no longer what Google wants to see on the first or second page of results. We all know that when you search something, you click on a link, you go to the site and you go, I've read through 3/4 of the page in just a few seconds. I'll try to scan it. It doesn't have what I want. Never mind. You go back and you click on another link. That's what Google's upset about and saying that's going to stop. It's been going on for too long because sites have worked their way up to the top of the search engines because they've cheated. And they're not providing the information that the searcher wants when they go to those links. So that's where EATS came out, and it's making sure that you're answering questions. And of course, each of you has a different topic because you do something different. John does trucking. Bonnie does branding. Robert is developing. So your site would be, Robert, yours would be about development. So you have different things, different questions that you ask. What is web design? What is SEO? What is optimization? Page optimization? What's on-page optimization? What's off-page optimization? So those are, each one of those is a topic. You pick a topic and you write those 3 pages. Awareness, consideration, purchase. Now you can go to AI and write those articles, but you have to be specific on how you write the message, if you will, to the AI. So you're asking it. I'm going to pick on Rick. You're not a developer. Rick, can you come online for a second?
Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Rick. What kind of business do you have for your website?
I'm a paint contractor and a real estate agent.
Wow, completely two ends of the earth. So do you have two sites or you have one?
Two.
Okay. Pick one. What's it about?
Well, my first one is allstarpainting.com. I'm a
Okay.
paint contractor and I'm paying a company $500 a month to do SEO on it. I was doing Link Now Media, doing like $750 a month. And I just didn't feel like I was getting any results. And so I switched to this other guy. It's supposed to be a smaller company and more attention. And I don't think I'm getting any better results. And I don't know enough to go in and find out if he's doing what he's supposed to do. Or if I'm getting any results based on what he's done now. And then my real estate page, that's developed by EXP. So I can go in there and start editing it, but right now it's just I guess a template that looks just like any other EXP's website, just has my name on it.
There's, I don't want to get too deep into what the developers are doing or not doing in your site, but a couple of questions you could ask them is, are they doing on-site SEO or off-site SEO? The difference is the on-site is applying the optimization within the pages of your site. Most companies, especially those that charge a fortune, like 500 and up a month, do off-site. So we're going to send you traffic. How do I know that it's qualified traffic? What page is it going to? What does the page look like? I can already see you and you're going, I have no clue.
No, I don't think they're doing the offsite. I think it's strictly on-site.
And if it's on-site, then are they contacting you to find out what do you feel is the most important thing on the page, or trying to get page content from you?
No, because I don't like the look of the website. I hate it. And he keeps trying to tell me, and Link Now did the same thing, that don't worry about what it looks like. That doesn't matter. It's the SEO that matters, and that's what we're working on. They've told me that over and over and over. But if I don't like it, yes, I can submit pictures and they'll upload them and that kind of thing. But if I could have time to do all that, I would just build it myself with WordPress or something else. And
Right.
I just haven't had time. So that's why I was hoping that they would design a more professional looking website that looks like many other professional painters' websites. And if you go to it, and it's just an immediate turnoff. It's so cold, and I don't even want to spend 10 more seconds looking at it. And I feel like that's what my customers are going to do. And you keep saying, no, don't worry about the website. Customers may not even look at it. It's just about ranking on Google. And that's what they're trying to get me to do, is rank.
Wow. Arthur's going to probably cut me off with the legs when I say this, but I don't see the value in what they're doing. Just in listening to you, it just is beyond me that they're saying, we don't care if the site is ugly or turned upside down or anything else, because the users aren't going to see that. That's not true. Who here goes to a website and pays absolutely zero attention to what the site looks like?
Can you put the link, put your link in the chat?
Yeah, I will. It's just allstarpainting.com.
Why does that sound familiar? That sounds familiar to me. Are you in Florida?
No, in Washington State. So
Okay.
Tacoma.
Oh, well, you're right down the street from me.
I am.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, and take a look in chat. Is this your site?
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, I'm sharing this with you. In general, you can say, yeah, I'm not real excited about it, but it's not bad. I mean, I've actually seen some horrible sites, but this isn't one of them.
It looks like such
And
a
like you said,
cookie
you may
cutter
not like a
template
lot
to
of the
me.
stuff, but it's not bad enough to push away users, in my opinion. What will push users away is if they are not able to get into the pages. So I'm going to show you how to find out whether these guys are doing their job or not.
Fantastic.
This one. Think of which window to share. Okay. You see your site now, Rick?
I do.
Before you decide that you're going to optimize or make it look any kind of different or change anything, you got to find out, are mobile devices able to get into the site? And that's what we're finding out. The answer is no. You see that 75?
Yes. What does that really mean? Just it's a little bit
75.
slow. loading?
75 means that it's not fast enough for a mobile device. Mobile device users give you up to 3 seconds for any page to load fast enough that they can begin to interact with the page. A 76 won't do that. They'll be waiting longer than those 3 seconds. So what happens is they just leave. So if they're optimizing these pages and charging you a fortune, what's the value if you're only getting a handful of desktops into the site?
Exactly.
So what you want to know, and don't take, well, we'll get you that, don't take any kind of excuse. What you want to know is look at your analytics and see how much traffic you're getting on any of the pages. And see how much time that people are spending on any of the pages.
And I don't know how to do either one of those.
What's that?
I don't know how to do either one of those two things.
Do you know how to get to your analytics?
I don't. I should, but I
He
don't.
probably doesn't have access to that. If he's using an agency,
Are you using an agency or are you using a private contractor?
What's the difference?
A person or one or two people could call themselves an agency, but generally speaking, if it's an agency, they've got quite a few people working for them.
I think it's like a 10-man, 10-person
Something
team
like that. Yeah.
in New York, out of New York.
I'm going to switch screens because I'm going to go from here. If you're logged into Google and you type in, can you see my address bar that it's highlighted?
Yes.
See, I start typing analytics.
Yes.
It automatically filled in, and it's going to take me to my analytics. And I've got several different companies that I use or that I watch stuff for, but it's
Okay. I think I have this page, but it's for like, I have a wholesaling company as well, where I was paying for ads. And when I get here, it shows me all that stuff. And I guess I don't know how to switch it from that. It's called Integral Home Buyers. I don't know how to go from there to All-Star Painting.
well, it's like if I just selected this particular one, and then since there are several different types, I want the latest, which is the GA4. So you
Okay.
go to the GA4 and it brings you those analytics.
Okay.
In general, the idea that I was trying to get to is if you just type in analytics in Google, it'll take you to your account. So if you go to your account and you wander through all of the information and you see, you know, 1 or 2 people going to the site, how long have these guys been doing the optimization?
Oh, God, 3 months, I think.
And do they have any pages close to the top of the search engine?
I have no idea. 'Cause when I type in painter, Spanaway, I always rank at the top. And he tells me, well, that's because it's in your cache. And so, yes, you will. But if someone outside your area searches for it, you're not ranking at the top. So I don't know how to tell if they're telling me the truth. Because when I
Right.
search, it just appears.
Yeah, he's right.
Painters where?
Spanaway?
Yep. You're in the list of businesses, the local businesses. Oh, and I do see you're on page 1. So that's a good thing. So they've been able to at least get your,
Thank you for calling the Roads Group. This is Gary. How can I help you?
For what keywords you use in there, he's coming on page 1. What was it painting what?
And I don't know if they've done anything for me because as far as I can tell, I always have been on page 1. For me, I thought it was all about reviews. And so I try to focus heavily on getting reviews up on Google. And again, when I search, I'm always at the top.
Mhm.
And now that when you're searching, you're out of my area, it's not in your cache and it is showing up at the top. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that, but I don't know if it's as a result of anything that they've done or if it would have done that if you had searched me 5 years ago. So
the description isn't great, and neither are the keywords. It's okay, but at least it's in there. It looks like something that was done quite a while ago. I mean, just off the top of my head and looking what's included in the keywords in the meta tags, looks like something that's been there for a while. Don't be afraid when somebody, and this is for each person that's listening to me right now, don't be afraid of telling or asking questions of anybody who's working on your site. What are you doing today? What did you do last week? What pages have changed? Don't let them blow you off either. Ask those specific questions because you have the right to know what's going on. Does that make sense?
yes.
Elizabeth, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
So it seems I've missed quite a bit. It looks like SEO has changed overnight. I mean, that's how it feels to me. So I'm gonna do more reading on EEAT, but and I'll be here for this talk, and hopefully I can come to more. Do the other tools and tips that you've taught us in the past, are they still useful?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
SEO
Okay.
SEO is still going to apply, but the types of pages that you're writing for your site are not just the average, well, we do this and we're kind of there and blah, 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 blah. Those pages need to be just put aside. Never mind. Forget about
I mean,
it.
like having an about page was something I learned from you was really important for SEO because Google likes to, what's the word, crawl the about page to get a sense of what you do. And the homepage usually has too many different things on it.
Yes. Now take that further
Mhm.
and say, I'm going to write an article on a very specific topic for this website. I was going to say, not a library, but what's the site that you're working on?
Oh, one of my long-term clients is an art gallery.
Art gallery, that's what, okay. So you have several different topics. In the art industry, you can just come up with several different topics, not what is art, because that's pretty open,
Right. No, we wouldn't do that.
but something that's more specified. And
Yeah.
I actually I've told a lot of people, I say, if you go into AI, you can ask AI, what are people searching when, what are people searching related to an art gallery? And that has said, okay, it's art gallery related to the art gallery, and what are people searching? That's what the AI is going to do for you.
Oh, that's
In
cool.
seconds, literally 5 seconds or less, it's going to spit out a list of here's what people are searching.
So
And-
I could go on Chat GPT and it would be so much easier than trying to find my way through the labyrinth to Google
Yes.
keywords.
Yes, yes, yes. Matter of fact,
Version 4, they just upgraded it to now it scans the internet now.
What does? What?
Chat GPT 4.
Okay.
It now you can ask it to search the internet now.
I'm going to ask this question of ChatGPT. So,
And so like the gallery has a specific, it's a nonprofit, has a specific mission, it has a vision statement, and those things are on the about page. And it also talks about the history. So I'm not sure if it has the right keywords and things like that, but it does talk about what sets it apart from
Okay.
other galleries.
so you tell me, I'm going to ask AI, what are people searching related to a nonprofit art gallery? Is that good for you, or is it still a little bit off?
I would say, what are people searching for in terms of an art gallery in Maine? Because we want to be known by more than just people looking for nonprofits. We
Okay.
want to, yeah,
So what are people searching related to a nonprofit art gallery in Maine? How about
just
that?
an art gallery in Maine. Because nonprofit would be too specific. People are not going to be specifically looking for a nonprofit art gallery. I mean, they might,
Okay.
but really we just want to capture anyone who's looking for an art gallery in Maine, especially Mid-Coast Maine.
Okay,
But and eventually we want to be known as far as like Boston and stuff like that. But for
there you
now,
go. It's all done.
yep. We've got some of those words. We do classes. We do our locations in there. We talk about artists and artwork. Exhibitions and events is definitely in there.
So then
That's
you
awesome.
could take it further, but this is the main idea that I try to get across to everybody. Find out what people are searching for your topic. And Rick, you could say, what are people searching in Spanaway for painting companies or painters? And it'd be the same thing. Does that make sense, Rick?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
But I guess the
So-
disadvantage here is that it doesn't give you the ranking that the Google Keywords does, where it tells you this keyword is being used by 1 million people, but you want to find a nice balance of a word that's not used by everybody, but is still common enough.
yes, and,
Yeah,
and it's good
okay.
that you know that part about SEO, because you're exactly right. Once this information comes up, so, okay, yeah, I see who's searching exhibitions and events, artists and artwork, gallery locations, blah, blah, blah. I see all these things that people are searching. So now you go to the keyword planner and you search how many times those are actually searched. So you have it going on. But when you find that out, let's just say visual art, visual tours and online presence. That's what people are searching more than anything. But I don't know if they are or not. So
Mhm.
you would have you would say, write an article about, let's say, virtual tours. Virtual tour.
Now, if your company or business doesn't offer virtual tours, you wouldn't want to include that, right?
No, I mean, you may not, but I'm just giving you
Yeah.
an example.
Sure.
So it's write an article about virtual tours online or online presence in Maine. You see how that now relates, and you're giving a specific, you're going to write one specific article.
Yeah. So it would benefit most people to have either a blog or a news section where they're putting these articles. Right?
No, you would use this as a main page in your site, not in a blog. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay. All right.
So
Sorry.
it's write an article about virtual tours or online presence in Maine for the awareness stage of the buyer's journey. All of that needs to be in there. You need to make sure that the AI knows you want it for the awareness stage of the buyer's journey. You want it for Maine because that's a local area, and then the subject matter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you combine all of that into a statement, then you just sit back and wait for all of this to be created.
Whoa, it's a lot of stuff.
Well, it writes a whole lot faster than you do. There's your conclusion. And it's, oh, long conclusion. It's done.
Yeah.
That's a nice article I just wrote for you.
And you're saying you'd put that on the homepage?
Now you edit that so it's not 100% AI.
Right.
So you can go through each paragraph, actually line by line, and use a thesaurus and change out some of the words so that you've got, I don't know, every 10th or 11th word or 9th word or whatever it is, some words that you're changing out of each paragraph so it's not 100% AI. And then you've got your first of 3 articles written because you've got the awareness stage, consideration stage, and the purchase stage. If you're not actually selling something in the site, then you at least need the awareness and the consideration pages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then those 2 pages would be 2 new pages in your main site. Those types of pages are what Google is looking for to get into the search engines. The ones that you have been telling people, well, here's about us and how long we've been in business. They may have liked that to a certain extent, but they're going to really, Google's really looking for this buyer's journey pages. So you're basically into sales. You need to know these 3 stages, and then you write for those 3 stages.
But you were saying you
AI is
put,
coming along and making your life easier, because if you had to go and learn about all these stages and then write the content, you could be months putting all this together. Now you can do it in a couple of days.
you have to put one of these articles, like the awareness stage article, on the homepage.
No,
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying you had to put it.
nope, it
on-
doesn't
okay.
doesn't have to be in the homepage, doesn't have to be anywhere, but it is a main page in your site. So they're new pages.
When you say a main page, what do you mean?
Well, as opposed to you were talking about it being in a blog. No, you don't want to shove it over in a blog.
Mm-hmm.
You want that to be part of your main pages of the main website, so that Google sees that, they like the page, they see
Yeah.
that you've got the awareness and the consideration pages. They push those into the top of the search engines. Now you get the traffic from,
When I say blog, I mean articles you've written and they exist on the website, not on a third-party site.
or in a place that you just call a blog and have lumped that all in.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't mean like
Yeah.
another website that you're linking to. I'm just calling it a blog because you're writing articles for people to read,
Yes.
but it's part of your site. Okay,
Yes,
that makes a
that-
lot
that
more
is
sense
true.
than squeezing this all on the homepage.
You are, in your terminology, yes, that is kind of what you're doing, but basically instead of the about page, you now have the
Okay.
This one, which was talking about the virtual tours and online presence. But you could write about anything. You can say art classes or workshops, any of these things. Whatever people are searching, that's what you want to know first, related to your business. Once you see what they are searching related to your business, you go to AI and see, okay, maybe I'm going to write about this, but you'll also check your keyword planner to see how often any of the particular terms is searched. Let me see the faces. Did I lose anybody, or anybody understand more? John, you're quiet
You're
today.
losing me
Did you
because that's
understand
the
that
easier
more?
for me.
Rick, was that something you were saying?
Yes, I was just saying, yeah, you're losing me. I need to see it and do it. Rather, if you just talk about it, I'm not going to
Okay.
remember this 10 minutes after we're done.
And
So if
that's
we could,
why I put in from last week, I had the awareness stage for debt consolidation. This week, I've given you the consideration page for debt consolidation. And I put the what I told AI to write, I put that up at the top of those documents so that you get an idea of, okay, here's what I want to ask, and here's the subject matter. The only thing that I haven't put in is where to find out how many people are searching whatever term or question that you're trying to ask AI to write an article for. So how many people are confused at that part? John, you know what you're doing there?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I've learned more in the last 2 weeks because I started to play a little bit with GPT to learn how it is. And a question I put in, because we're always looking for salespeople, is I put in just a question of, what's the best way to look for a salesperson in freight? It came up with, had to be 10 pages of information on how to post a job requirement for freight sales. Then I found that I would just copy 1 or 2 sentences out of everything it would write. I put that in the GPT chat, and it came up with a whole nother list of things. I must have spent, I went down into the rabbit hole for a good 6 to 7 hours, just finding out all the different stuff that you could learn. And I finally when I was done, got home and told the wife, she says, where you been all day? And I says, at the office. And she said, are you that busy? I says, just reading through GPT and all the stuff that happens.
It's a lot of information. Getting back, and Elizabeth, you're more than welcome, and hopefully that clarified some things so that you can write the articles the way that you need. And Rick, the clarification for you, do you understand so far what to tell AI and why?
I probably would, Tom, if I spent last night or last week when you presented, I came in late and I had to leave early because I had another meeting.
Oh,
And unfortunately, I didn't get back to all that. I did open it, download it. It was a Google Sheets, I think, or a Google Doc, and it looks like it had some text, but I don't know if it had step 1, go to ChatGPT and then type in this awareness statement or anything like that. Maybe it did. I briefly looked at it and it honestly didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I was hoping I would be able to go back and rewatch your video or something, and I wasn't able to find it. So I wasn't able to go back and rewatch it. So I guess maybe everything you've said is super clear. I guess I haven't had time to go back and look at those documents that you've given us to see if I totally understand it.
okay. Going back to the last couple of weeks would be good. Today, I made sure to put in the documents that I alluded to, which was debt consolidation was the subject that I used. And so I put in the awareness stage last week, and I also put it in again this week. And then this week I've also included the consideration stage for the debt awareness, or for the debt consolidation. Think it's confusing for you guys.
When you say go back the last couple of weeks, how do we do that? How do I go back and look at? I just learned about you last week, and that's when I came in for the first time.
Oh, here, I'll put it in chat. Did you find me in chat or find me in YouTube?
No, I think in Alignable, I think it said here's someone you should know or something like that. I clicked on it. I saw AI and I thought, yeah, I want to go look at this. And so that's how I found you.
There, that should take you right to my videos in YouTube. And they're in there according to date that I put them up. So that you should see, I think 3 of them that I put in there last week. So they'll be probably the same date, but you'll see the title on it and know what it's talking about, know what the meeting was about.
Thank you.
The main thing is if you have these documents that I put in the chat today, the first one is the awareness stage, and that's the one where I've stated in part what is debt consolidation. So that's the question, and you could use something like I wouldn't say what is a painter. Everybody knows what a painter is. Yours is going to be asking AI, what do people search when they're looking for a painter in Spanaway?
Perfect.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And then once you see what people are searching, then you're going to make a decision. Which one of those things that it suggested are you going to write one article about? So once you have that determined, you then ask AI to write an article for this subject that is for the awareness stage of the buyer's journey. So that's stage 1, and you're asking the question and wait for it to spit it out. Then you can just rephrase that same statement. Instead of asking a question, you're going to, for the consideration page, which is what we're talking about today, write an article on the same subject, but not with a question, whatever the subject was, for the consideration stage of the buyer's journey. So you stay with that same subject. So those 2 pages combine so that you've got the awareness stage, consideration stage, they're linked together. And if you then sell something on your site so people can purchase on your site, you want the 3rd page, which is the purchase page. And that will be different. That'll have some different information. Each stage has different information. And that's what Google's looking for. So they can see, aha, you really are an expert because you've got, here's what the subject is, here's what you can do with it with consideration, and here you can purchase that. But if you
Don't sell something on my site, does Google understand that so I don't get dinged for not having the purchase page?
Say that again.
I said, is Google smart enough to understand that my site doesn't sell anything, so I'm not required to have the 3rd stage, the purchase stage. So it doesn't affect my ranking because I don't have it.
Correct. A lot of people have got that same situation that have been through our group. So you're at least doing stage 1 and stage 2.
Okay.
And you're going to have a call to action because you're either asking people to contact you through your contact page or calling you. So those call to action buttons peppered on the consideration stage call for more information, call for setting an appointment, or call whatever it is that you're asking them to do. Does that make sense?
Your call to
Yes.
action, your contact page can serve as a
Mhm.
page. You know, I looked at some of your blog articles and the content looks good. You know, I haven't found anything in there that really looks too bad, that, you know, some minor things maybe. And I did some searching in your area for the titles, and you're coming up on a few of them on page 1. And the search engine is like exterior brick painting, Spanaway, Washington. You've got a blog post on that. And I searched for brick painting in Washington, and that's statewide. And you're on page 1 for that article has driven to is associated with your contact us page, which is good. You know, so. I mean.
Thank you, Arthur. I guess I need to learn how to do what you just did, because
Well,
I don't know how to check on
That's
my.
gonna take you a lot to figure that out, but what he did was verify whether it's you who did it or somebody else, but your pages look good. You
Okay,
could get the speed up a little bit, which I showed you that, but beyond that, I didn't even take a chance to see what it was developed. Is that a WordPress site?
No, it's not WordPress. I don't think, hold on. No,
Let's see what they used.
but what they're doing is, it looks like that they're giving you content. I mean, you're not writing the blog post, correct?
correct.
Right? And the posts that they are writing are pretty good, actually. And they're doing the internal linking. They're not really doing a lot of external linking, and they need to build more on the backlinks. So I would mention that to them, tell them your backlinks are weak.
Okay,
But I'm not seeing anything that shows that indicates the
I mean, even
platform.
maybe the hierarchy and the link structure, the hierarchy could be improved upon, but I wouldn't, make any big changes on that at this point.
Steve put in the chat that it's a Duda CMS. I don't know what any of that is.
I'm sorry.
DUDA, content management.
I didn't hear you.
DUDA in the chat, apparently. Somebody has identified that.
Oh, Duda. Oh, it's on Duda. Okay, well, Duda's not bad. I mean, I've seen some pretty impressive results with Duda. And am I a big fan of it? No, not really, because you don't have control over it. But for those who don't want anything to do with their websites, it's not a bad platform. A little pricey, but but yeah, I know what Duda is.
Interesting. I was just looking through all the code in this homepage.
Yeah, I know people who use Duda just for landing pages.
It is full of code. It's like,
I mean,
all of it.
maybe the let me look at something here. I mean, what you really need to consider is what your ROI is and the kind of traffic they're driving to you. I mean, I can see you're getting traffic, but
That's what he tells me as well, but my phone's not ringing, so
It's not qualified traffic then.
it could be. Could be a number of things. I mean, what is your demographics? I mean, what area is your focus on? Is it just Spanaway?
well, I'm in Spanaway, so I'm very close to Joint Base Lewis McChord. But it's Pierce County. So I guess I'm mostly an exterior repaint person because most people can't afford or just don't want to get up on a ladder. Where interior work, if you hit somebody with a $3,000 estimate, they're like, oh, I'll do it myself. So
I was a
they
painting
can do that.
contractor for many years. Yes, I know exactly. I come from that background, and I'm very familiar with it. And then I used to do new construction, repaint, decorative art. I've done pretty much all of it, you know, commercial and residential. And you're right. I mean, that's the mindset, you know, so I went for the high end. That's the only place that people could afford to hire me, you know, because I had high quality, top notch guys and I was paying them very well, you know, so.
Can't find those guys today. I can't find one person, not one. There's so much work out there, but I cannot find one person.
I know it's a shame. It really is. But it could be, I mean, are you in a rainy season this time of year up there?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's gonna
It's
have an
Washington,
impact.
Arthur.
Huh?
It's Washington if it's not raining. It's like, wait, what's wrong?
Yeah. I mean, maybe focus more on interior this time of year. Have your people write up interior articles on interior painting and focus on that. I mean, are they doing any ads for you, or are they just taking care of the on-site?
I don't think they're doing any ads. And whatever they're doing, as you're seeing, it's ranking well, but the phone's not ringing. So I don't know. It's been a slow year for me, period. And I don't know if it's just because of interest rates or it's because of something that they're not doing right. I'm assuming it's interest rates because everybody's in the toilet
Yeah.
right now.
Well, just so you know, you're not alone, because I got 2 roofing contractors and another contractor right now that is, their sales are down also.
Greg has a question. And I do to everybody else. I put both of the documents into chat twice. So Greg, do you see the second document? One was the awareness stage is a Word document, and the consideration stage is just a text document.
Oh, I'm sorry, which was which?
Oh, I see you're in here twice. That may be what happened.
Yeah, because I was on my phone first and I was not downloading things
Didn't
well.
that well.
So I joined on my laptop too. So you got
You
two of
said,
me.
which one did you find? Did you find
I ended up finding both of them,
oh,
but because I was on my phone, I just couldn't read it well. To
gotcha.
see what it was. But you're saying the first one is awareness and the second one is consideration?
Correct.
Because one was kind of like text and one was a Word doc.
Correct. The Word
So
doc
the Word
was
doc is the consideration.
I did the Word doc just because of the fact that I was telling people, in order to not have a 100% AI, you want to highlight a certain number of words so that you can say, all right, change these words that are highlighted, get a thesaurus out and change those words so that it's more human than AI.
Okay. Okay, I see. So, but those are both, what I've got is both about
Debt consolidation.
Debt consolidation for the consideration stage. And was there one for awareness?
The
one for the
debt consolidation for awareness.
Yeah, that one I think I'm missing.
And for the awareness, well, that's the text file.
That's the text file. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Nope. Backwards. The Word doc is the awareness stage. And that's the one where I asked the question about what is debt consolidation.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
What type of business do you have, Greg?
I'm in the very beginning stages. I'm doing a productivity process, and I'm going to have an app with it to facilitate the education and ongoing work and the productivity.
I need more specificity to try to help you get a document. What would people search to find what you do?
they would search for productivity. They would search for, I'm stuck. How do I go forward?
Uh,
I'm trying to make myself the Duolingo of productivity.
would it be fair to say, what do people search to find a productivity site?
Yeah.
Okay. Chat GPT says,
Sorry, before we move too much further, I just wanted to let Rick know that I tried to find you on Instagram. I even tried to use the link on your site to your Instagram account. It didn't work for me. The Facebook link did work, but it looks like the last post you had was from June. And then the X link said something about this account doesn't exist. So you might want to take a look at those.
I don't know what the X link is. I don't.
X
I do
is
have
formerly Twitter.
Oh, that's right.
Elon Musk decided he had to be special and
That's right.
and rename it X.
I haven't used social media. I need to. I
Yeah.
get it. I just, you're right. Probably
but
nothing there
you-
because
Whether, I mean, yes, it is good to use. Whether you use it or not, it is good to make sure that those links are working properly or have them removed.
yeah, I've
Correct,
seen that in a
yeah.
lot of sites. They'll do that. In fact, I have a client that I haven't touched on that yet, but it's coming. You've got these things that say, you hear all the links to the various mobile sites, the social media sites. But if you just hold your mouse over it, you can see that Facebook's the only one that works. The others just, X goes to Twitter, Instagram goes to Instagram, and the G goes to allstarpainting.com.
Yeah.
So they're not going to your account in any of those social media things. Just like Elizabeth said, use them or get rid of them, but don't just let them hang out there.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And Greg, I'm going to share what I searched in ChatGPT. ChatGPT says productivity tools, task management apps, time management techniques. And I can actually take this so that you have it. Interesting enough, oh, there it is down here. It changed where they put the stuff. Save this for you, Greg, if you'd like.
Yes, please.
And put it in here somewhere.
And then because I do plan to sell this eventually for the purchase stage, how do you tailor that differently, or is that on your YouTube videos or?
Purchase stage I haven't got to yet. Most people have even said, well, I only have 2 stages. What's the third one? Third is the purchase stage. I'll do that next week.
Okay, perfect.
And
Thank you.
let's go, if I can find me. Almost there. And it should be right in here. Here we go. Anybody can have it, but I just posted Greg's list from ChatGPT in chat. So you can download that, Greg. And that'll give
Awesome.
you some
Done.
ideas of what people are searching. So you'll know, oh, okay, so I'll write an article. I'll start with the awareness stage on this particular idea.
Okay.
And then you can get to the
So like mine is,
sorry, what was
what I
that?
plan to do is combine productivity with call it wellness, and I'm even trying to help in particular people with ADHD to get things done, and looking at all kinds of fun stuff like neurodiversity and why current apps don't help those people, to make something different that does help them. So I could see how I would do searches like what you had an example here
Mhm.
of for those categories and write things on it. And then I don't know how I would, maybe I would morph those together and have those in the awareness and the consideration pages. Is that correct assumption?
Well, when you talk about combining, you want to make sure that whatever you're combining, somebody is searching to find. If they're not, don't make up something that nobody's searching. It's not going to do you any good.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
I think so.
So in other words, the list that I just showed you, the first thing that it said people are searching is productivity tools. So if you decide, okay, I'm going to combine that with workflow optimization, well, wait a minute. Do people search productivity tools and workflow optimization together? Or do they search one or the other?
Hmm.
So
So my research is going to be what sorts of things do they search for?
very specifically, you need to write for what people search. If you're making up things that are combining what people search for, that's not going to do you any good.
Okay.
That's the same thing with any SEO. If you've combined keywords that are not what somebody is searching, that's of no value to you. You're trying to find what in specific are people searching. If they search this and they search that, don't put them together. The same thing goes with don't combine the awareness stage with the consideration stage or the purchase stage. They're three separate pages. Do not combine them. Don't even mention the other ones. Unless you're saying the consideration stage as part of the awareness, if the text link that's saying, and then there's the consideration stage, or it could be a button that's more about the whatever the subject is, and that takes them to the consideration page, something like that. But you're not trying to add a lot of text or a lot of copy in one stage that belongs in another stage. Does that make more sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. So if I were to, okay, so if I were to write search for look for what people are searching for regarding ADHD, I would write on that specifically, not try and include productivity. If I want to see what people are searching for with the productivity, like you already gave me an example, write on that. And each of those things have separate awareness and consideration and purchase.
Yeah, for anything that you're considering, search to find out how many people search. If people are searching that particular term, then search in the keyword planner, Google Keyword Planner, search how many people are searching that. Well, there's only
Okay.
3, then okay, I don't want to write an article about that.
Right.
And always try to make, if you're having a difficult time about getting into the search engines in a decent position, go for, as Arthur likes to say, and a lot of people do, the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit would be a local search. Rick is doing that. That is a local search, painter in Spanaway. That's a very specific area. His competition is much, much lower for that than it is painters. Painters would be nationwide. No, his is painters in Spanaway. So when people search painters near me and they live in that area of Spanaway, his will come up in that search. If they search painters in Spanaway, obviously they come up in that search too. So you'll want to do the same thing, Greg, with any of the things that you're doing. Get a page into the local search first. I don't care if you do national business or international. Get a page in local first. That gives your other pages juice, authority from Google, and says, okay, people are going to that page. So apparently it's of value. That means the other pages in your site are going to get the value from that one page that's in the top of the search engine. So you write more
That makes sense.
that are local. And then when your site has the authority, you can start writing articles for national or international, if that's the way that you do business. But you have to start someplace. You can't start at the top and work your way down.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. We kind of went over, but I think we hit on a lot of points that were difficult for people. All right, folks.
Okay.
John's going to teach the class next week because he knows all about this now. And he's going to pretend like he doesn't know how to unmute himself.
I gotta get our CIO in on one of these meetings because he's always telling me, quit asking questions.
You've been doing that for a year.
He asked me the other day, he wanted to know where I was going and who I was asking questions, getting answers from.
And now they're mad because they realize you actually know something.
Well, I know enough to be dangerous is what he keeps telling me.
Yeah, there you go. Now bring them to the meeting. They'll find out. Well, thanks for joining today, folks. Take it easy. We'll see you next week.